seller, and what's your pump up song? Like what's playing on the radio as you pull into the parking lot to like pick up that big check?
Well,
What's on the radio?
all right, you got to remember, no, I'm a little dated, okay?
Let's bring it.
But I'm a big fan of 80s rock, okay?
Yeah.
And probably my song that the band that pumps me up the most is like Motley Crue.
Okay. All right. Love it. Well, maybe we can put some Motley Crue in on your intro music here.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
Kickstart my heart, baby.
Yeah.
Make sure that it lasts forever, not only one night.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Noah from Cola REI, famously hot real estate group, and I am so excited for you. I've got so much enthusiasm for you. I've got butterflies in my stomach, and that never happens because I'm about to introduce you to a rock star real estate investor, a rock star real estate educator, and someone who he may or may not know it, but has had a huge impact on my real estate investing business, my wife's real estate investing business. He's got over 27 years of real estate industry experience. He's done over 1,500 deals, 1,500, and he's seen multiple cycles within the business. There's so much that we can learn from Jerry Green. So without further ado, let's bring him on. Help me welcome Jerry Green to the big show.
Woohoo!
Hey Jerry, how you doing?
Good. Wow, thanks for that intro, Noah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited to have you.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. So, yes, I definitely enjoy helping others. So, glad to jump on today, man.
Hey, I don't know if you know this or not, and I know that you have met my wife like 15 years ago. My wife, Christy, was had an administrative role at a company and didn't really know what she was walking into. And she's sitting at the back of a hotel ballroom, and she's listening to you teach real estate investing and teach mindset and all these great principles. And Christy's like, you know what? I'm going to do that. And she went out and she did. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but you had such a big impact in the trajectory of her life. And anytime that era of her life comes up, she always says, Jerry Green, such a nice man. And he does the business, right? He does the business, and he's such a nice man. So I just wanted to share that with you.
That's too funny, Noah. That's too funny. Christy, yeah, I mean, that's, I think about that, and oh my gosh, time has just flown by, dude. It's just crazy on things. But I remember that well. I mean, I remember working with Christy, and we were doing a lot of events, and actually, but back then we were helping Robert Allen out a lot.
Yeah.
So doing a lot of cool things with that. And it was funny, but yeah, I remember working together a lot on things, and we had a lot of fun and worked with a lot of people across the country. And it's cool to know that, I guess it's funny on this, Noah, because there's so many people that sat in those rooms, like with Christy, when she worked in this side of things, and there was a lot of young ladies that worked in the back of the room, overseeing the events, coordinating things and stuff like that. And I always wondered how much of them actually retain some of this information,
Yeah.
And then what's really cool is to see them retain it. But the second part is even better is then when they go out and apply it. So, I'm really proud of Christine, what she's done, and kudos to both of you guys. So rock and roll, man.
Thank you. And it seems like teaching is something that you get a lot of value out of and really enjoy. When I see your Facebook posts and things like that, I can tell you enjoy educating others.
Yeah, I do. It's been something that has always been a passion of mine. And I guess one of the big things is I just, and this comes from, well, actually, even the back in the days when Christy and I were out traveling and stuff together, and this has been going on for years. There's so much crap out there.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's so many fake people out there that are not really doing the business. Okay. They talk a lot, or they've been doing it for a year or two. And then they think that they can go out and just launch a program. They've never been through a market cycle. They've never experienced any of this stuff. And, I look at it, they just haven't been kicked in the teeth enough. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've to really understand this business. Okay. It takes a lot of that. And, and that's something I just grabbed a hold of that, man. And I realized that there was such a need for somebody to really share the real truth of how this works and how to build it properly and how to make it into a real business. And that's one of the areas I specialize in, because so many people do this where they don't really make it into a real business. It's easy to become a deal chaser and do that all the time, but it's a whole different ball game to build this thing into a business that allows you to step away from and it operate without you.
If you could go back, because you have seen so many different cycles and experienced so much, probably gotten kicked in the teeth as well.
Oh, right?
Yeah. What would you what advice would you give to like your younger self if you could, if anything?
Yeah, I get asked that every so often. That's a great question on things, Noah. And I'll tell you something, Noah. If I went back into the 20-some-year-old Jerry when I first started in this business, one of the biggest things that I would tell myself on things is right out of the gate is to truly treat this as a business. As I was saying, and let me just share with you a little deeper on that, if I may, is I see a lot of people that have been doing this for 15, 20 years. And they have rental properties and things like that they have going on, and they're still collecting rent from their tenants. They're still out there doing a lot of their own rehab work and all that type of stuff that goes on. And look, I did it too, Noah, and I'm not knocking anybody, but what I'm trying to do on this is make people realize that this is a business. And it's no different if I was in the business of these cell phones. Okay. If I was in the business of these cell phones, I'm not going to turn around and take the cell phone and say, okay, I'm just want to sell 1 or 2 cell phones here and there and something like that. What I want to do is I want to build this and scale this and make this a business that allows me to step out of. For some reason in real estate, people get so personal on it that they don't want to do that. So if I could go back in time on things, I would have restructured that, because it would have saved me over 12 years of heartache on things.
Yeah.
And I would have streamlined things. I would have made a lot more money. I wouldn't have lost as much money on things. And, it just would have saved me so much grief on things over those years. So that's one of the biggest things is I just realized that this is a business. I need to set it up properly and structure that way, and then put the proper things in place. And if I can, I'll share with you just what I look at is this, and this is something that most people never get. And I don't care what business you're in, you go through this, but in real estate, it's hyper focused on things. And that is, there's 4 phases to business. The first phase is your launch phase. Okay. We launch, we get into maybe real estate, start doing some deals, fix and flips, rentals, maybe some wholesaling, whatever. Okay. We start getting that going. Then the next phase we have is what we call our growth phase. So we start seeing some growth. So we start making some more revenue. Maybe we hire somebody, we hire some virtual assistants, something like that. And it starts to grow, and things are, and we start to put some processes in place. Well, there's 2 other phases. Now, the third phase, I'm going to skip over. I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
But most people, what they do is they say, okay, I am making this happen, so I'm going to go right to the 4th phase, and that is scalability. I'm just going to scale this thing out. I'm going to make it big. And then a year or so down the road, all of a sudden, they're at a point where they're extremely frustrated. They're totally overwhelmed. They don't know what's going on. They're stressed out. They're starting to hate it. And it all comes back into their lap again. And they're like, man, this is not what I wanted. Well, they forgot the third phase. And that third phase of business is what I call the constraint phase. And that's learning how to put constraints in your business, including on yourself. And what I mean by that is start thinking, like I said, is a business where it's so easy for us. And like in real estate, when a deal comes in, we sign that deal. And next thing you know, we're in a position like, man, should we rehab this? Should we rent it? Should we go around and wholesale it? What should we do? Right?
Yeah.
Sets in the funnel.
Yeah.
So what I've learned is make those decisions ahead of time, and that's into a business plan. And then when you do that, it starts putting constraints on things. It's like, okay, I'm going to wholesale this many deals approximately. Like rehabs, I'm going to rehab 4 deals this year or 10, whatever it is, and that's max. And you predetermine that. And then now you can take that, build a process around it, and empower a team, and they do it. And that takes you out of the decision-making process.
God, that's such good advice.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's because if not, what happens in this business, especially, we get into what I call decision fatigue. And that is, we're always trying to figure out what we want to do with a project, or do this or do that. Yeah. And it's like, I've removed myself from that. And when I've done that, Noah, it was a life-changing thing. Now I don't even see the settlement statements. Yep. I don't see any of that stuff. And the team just constantly boom, 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 deal after deal.
Decisions have already been made. Once your goals, because we enjoy flipping, but I'll tell you, like, before being on this call, Christy was in the office and she's like, hey, I got to, kick plate and trim and Lowe's and managing projects. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm trying to focus on getting ready for the big show here, So,
dude, 100% with you on that.
Now, I know you focus a lot on wholesaling. Is that because of like how you can systematize it? Does it have to do with like the market trends or what?
Well, I used to do a ton of rehabs. In fact, at one time I had 4 full-time project managers working for me, and it was a babysitting job, and I hated it. So it was like, what I looked at, Noah, was what is the easiest route to scalability and with the least amount of complexity. Okay.
Yeah.
And see, complexity is our big problem within small business, even big business.
Yeah.
So there's the law of complexity. So we have to learn to reduce that and reduce that complexity. And I looked at, yes, I've done it with the rehab side of building and scaling it out, but it's just not what I wanted anymore. I've done all that. Yeah. And I just realized that the wholesale side really was unlimited potential. And the cool thing about it, Noah, is I can take it anywhere. Like, we're in several states, and we're continuing to grow that. And I just empower the team to continue to grow that. And they're right now, my COO, Ashley, is planning on taking that national.
Yeah. Fantastic. Any plans for South Carolina?
I don't know if she does or not on that. I don't think so. But if we do, I'll let you know.
Yeah, for sure. Man, this has been awesome. Like, I've learned so much from you already. Like, legitimately, like, and I feel like I'm kind of, and I don't know if I can speak for other people, but I meet a lot of other people who are in the same conundrum of, do I scale up? But is that going to lead to more stress, or do, the complexity of things and just keeping it simple? So it's awesome. I've got some other questions, but, I'm gonna give the advice to people to seek you out on like Facebook and social media, because the content that you put out is really good. Well,
thank you. I appreciate that.
The classes, I want to get to one as well.
Yeah.
And I know people here in my market that have attended your boot camps, and they're doing fantastic. So I need to get in on it. So I'm going to leave that. But one last question. I love asking people this question here. Now, I know you don't really go to closings anymore or see the altas, right? But if you had a big closing, or maybe you're going to meet a seller, and what's your pump up song? Like, what's playing on the radio as you pull into the parking lot to like pick up that big check?
Well,
What's on the radio?
All right, you got to remember, no, I'm a little dated. Okay,
let's bring it.
But I'm a big fan of 80s rock. Okay.
Yeah.
And probably my song that the band that pumps me up the most is like Motley Crue.
Okay. All right. Love it. Love it. Well, maybe we could put some Motley Crue in on your intro music here.
All right. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Kickstart my heart, baby.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Well, Jerry, thank you so much, man. I know you're super busy getting ready for a boot camp and preparing this weekend. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, brother.
We really appreciate it. Keep it up.
All right, man. Sounds good. Tell your wife I said hey.
On the front grill, raised a couple mil so I can make a deal. Now I'm feeling too trill, like it isn't real. Whether you in it for the love or the thrill, live life.